Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for some more European Truck Simulator 2. I've got up to 30,000 in the bank now. I just realized I got a new email. Let me check here. Oh, that's why it was. This is going to bring up the first thing. I just downloaded and installed Special Transports, the latest DLC. If I read it correctly, it came out today. That makes today special for another reason too. I've got the first reason being that I've got some eggnog. 'Tis the season, and I don't mean the eggnog that you get at the supermarket. I mean the real eggnog. This one's the Evan Williams eggnog. So I'm not going to be drinking that while I drive, of course. Not even in a video game. I actually don't drink that much to begin with, but anyway, the more important thing is that we have Special Transports out. So I imagine it's going to be a while before I would get around to being able to use it. In any case, first thing I want to do, let's check my map really quick. And let's see, I think I'll go over and repair the truck really quick. And then we're in Milano, and let me see what we've got here. I'll check what my rest status is as well once I'm out driving. I don't think I can see it from the menu. Get this loaded. Alright, let's see what we got here. So 3 hours, so I'll probably need to rest as well. So I'll just go over, repair my truck and rest, and then it's time to check what the next load will be. And I just got the loan, the ability to get the loan, and so that means that I will be heading down to Sicily. And if I remember the map correctly, I go this direction to get over to where I repair my truck at. That was an interesting. Just that car being there. Let's go ahead and go. Anyway, today is, I think, December 13th. So it's also an important day for other reasons in the news. Yesterday, Alabama had their special election. And I don't know, people are saying it's a referendum on Trump. Referendum? Yeah, I think that's how you pronounce it. Anyway, I don't see it quite as much like that. I think it was just that Roy Moore was a really bad candidate for the Republicans to choose. That said, Mitch McConnell is reminding me why I am not a Republican. So, going out of his way to... I mean, he was just a jerk this whole time. I find it very interesting. The Republicans were always like, for conservatives, you got to support our candidates. They shove people like McCain down our throat and expect conservatives to vote in lockstep for them because, for the good of the party. But as soon as somebody that they don't like, even before all this stuff came out, they didn't like Roy Moore. And yeah, as soon as that comes out, then what do? They expect all Republicans to sacrifice the seat for the good of the country is what they claim. Where we needed to sacrifice people for the good of the country was when they were deciding to run John McCain in 2008 or Mitt Romney in 2012. I mean, these are the decisions. I guess if this guy's not going to go, I will. And these are the decisions that led to the blowouts of Obama. And make no mistake, if there had been legitimate candidates, I don't think that Obama would have necessarily won. He probably would have won in 2008, just because everybody was so anti-Bush at that moment. Anyway, that doesn't matter. I think that's all that I will be talking about politics on this one. Just to say that this thing makes me glad that McConnell is eating a bit of crow through this. I know the blame game is going to be it's Trump's fault, it's McConnell's fault, back and forth, yeah. In the end, I don't know that really matters. Ultimately, we'll see what the future holds the next time that there is an election. So, let's see. Oh, yeah, this is a weird spot for back to rest. Anyway, so yeah, let's see. I had to pay off some of the loan, as you heard it beep on there. To see what the state is. That was the first payment. So obviously it's costing $2,888 a day. It will be a lot more once I take this loan. I'm not going to take it until I actually get close to the garage I'm going to buy, because why spend extra money on interest, right? So let's see what we can get to drive us further south through Italy. Technically it goes the right direction, but let's see, Bologna. We always call it Bologna, but I think it's Bologna is how they pronounce it. Venezia. Okay, that one's probably going to be the farthest to the south. Let's see how much it will cost. Yeah, it's quite a bit per kilometer less, but it's actually more money than I would get from here. I'm not going to seek to optimize yet. Let's get our garage and then optimize. In fact, this is probably going to be the only run that I'll have on this particular video today. That's 7 hours of game time. Which should probably be just over half hour or so with this. My last video, of course, was over an hour, almost an hour and a half long, so I don't really want to do too many of them at that length. Won't be able to do that very frequently just because of my time limitations. But alright, so let's see on here. Hopefully I can get through this light if I can. And, come on. So my brakes just decided to stick there all of a sudden. That was interesting. There we go. Okay. So anyway, today, just we'll take this trip down, get closer to Sicily, where we can take our loan. I just realized that this is actually going to a different town. Oh, well, that's fine. Or else this is another one of those huge maps. Oh, it's only 40 of this. This could be one of those huge maps where the towns are located, like the businesses are located, in this case 100 kilometers outside of the town. That is a possibility. I noticed that they were doing that a bit in the French town, so this could actually still have been part of it. I wasn't really paying that close of attention. Hopefully I'm not going to end up getting there just to find the trip is already done, like I did earlier in this series. If it happens, it happens. So. Whether it teach me to pay more attention. Anyway, let's get going on here. So, I've got, in addition to my eggnog, which I'm not going to drink until after I'm done recording, I've got some my usual beverage, Diet Dr. Pepper. That's what makes the world go round. There are two different types of people in the world, those who like Diet Dr. Pepper and those who are crazy. That's a scientific fact. It's definitely not my opinion. And if you don't believe that, then you're just an awful person, I guess. But you don't want to be an awful person. That's why you should vote for me. Practicing my cynicism. Although honestly, that is one thing I do not need to practice. I've got plenty of experience with cynicism already. That's probably why I am in between political parties, because of my cynicism. I view them all as roughly the same piece of crap. But that's only because, I have eyes. And I observe, and then I make determinations using logic. If I didn't do any of that, then I'm sure I could find something that distinguishes them, two different parties that make it worthwhile. Everybody during elections is always like, you need to vote for the lesser of two evils. And I'm like, when one evil is 99% and the other is 99.1%, there really isn't that much difference between the two evils. That actually brings up an important thing is, people during this previous election, when it's Trump versus Hillary, Which, first of all, that alone should tell you how dumb our political system is. If the only two, quote, valid, end quote, choices are between Hillary and Trump, if that's what your system gives you, that's proof your system is broken. Yeah, I had to cut off that card there, but because these guys cut me off. So anyway. So during the previous election, though, there were so many people who were like, a vote for Trump is really a vote for Hillary, or or how did they put it? If you vote for third party, that's what it was. A vote for a third party was a vote for, Democrats would say a vote for was it Stein was a vote for Trump, and Republicans were like a vote for like Paul, or writing candidate or whatever was really a vote for Hillary. And of course, that's what gives us elections where the winners are Hillary and Trump, is that attitude. A vote for your candidate is a vote for your candidate. Period. And if you want legit elections in America with real choice, you're going to have to start voting third party. And that's the only way. You have to break up the two monopolies that fight each other, and they're really two sides of the same coin. Fight that and get legitimate choice. That's the only way it will work. Otherwise, you're going to get stuck with candidates that nobody wants and everybody believes they have to have. I guess all this means that today I'm in a bit of a political mood. I normally am not, at least not anymore. I used to be back in the day, but then I stopped caring. Okay, let's see what we got here. I'm assuming this works kind of as a right turn. This is one of those way out in the middle of nowhere places, so that's okay though. Alright. My turn. There we go. I do like the scenery here. This looks pretty cool. And a bit too fast. Okay. Certainly driving like I've already had my eggnog. Alright. Anyway, here we go. This is, I guess all these places in Italy are going to be behind gates. Not sure how much I like that. Alright, so freight market, do we still have our trip that we requested? Yes, 34 minutes left. And it is part of Milano, so I guess, yeah, Milano is just, this is one of those where it has the places scattered really far and wide around town. I do kind of like how they've got the Italian colors on there. It also looks like the flag for Mexico. The green, white, and red there. Alright, here we go. Let's see, so this is giving us 12 hours. It says it'll take 7, and we don't have to rest for 9, so that's good. Plenty of time. How much weight do we have on this? 9 tons, that's not bad. Won't have to be mashing the brakes so hard. Okay. Something tells me though that those gates are there just to slow down drivers. I think that's why they put in random speed limit changes as well. Just keep you on your toes. Let's just keep this about 50 around this corner. Just slow down. Anyway, after all that political stuff, the only other thing I really have to say today, today was just a really long day at work, but that's the new normal. I actually ended up in meetings for the majority of the day. I had a meeting that was supposed to go from 11 to noon, which is my normal lunch hour. But instead of going from 11 to noon, it went from 11 to about 12:25. And then I had another meeting right at 1, so I ended up with a short lunch today. I'll get to make it up tomorrow, have a longer one tomorrow, but I had to do a really quick short lunch today, and then my meeting from 1 was supposed to go until 3, and it went until 4:25, so fun times. Let's see, I'm just going to sneak out there, hopefully not get hit. We got close. This is, like I said, I don't know how the rules work on roundabouts. Make sure we got nothing hit me, so. Empty barrels, okay, huh? Put my cruise control on. So anyway, yeah. Having meetings all day does make it feel kind of like at the end of the day that you didn't really accomplish much. They're so important. I don't know, why do you go all the way down to 40 on this? Anyway, as I was saying, it's still important. It was our planning for our next sprint, since we're in an agile environment. We're actually kind of doing a hybrid, and unfortunately, like most hybrids, we're essentially doing the worst parts of each, rather than anything good. We're still learning the process. It's a brand new environment for all of us, and so yeah, it's been a little frustrating. Parts of it, but that said, we're finally getting some momentum going in there, and unfortunately we haven't yet figured out how to budget our time accordingly. So I actually split my time between this project and working just normal help desk. It was supposed to be 50-50, so ended up owing some time to the help desk side of my job, so tomorrow I'll have to adjust a bit on that. But yeah, it does mean, like, once again, at the end of the day, had even though it felt like I wasted part of the afternoon just because it was in that meeting, still had to think a lot through it as we were planning how many sprint points it would take and how many hours and tasks and all that stuff as we were going on it. And so yeah, I did get to use my brain, which is why it's kind of nice to do a little bit of a download here. Of course, it's because I'm tired, it's probably why I even brought up stuff about politics, for example. That's why I thought it might be a good idea. And I think it's a good idea, then it probably means it's time for bed. Now, honestly, though, like I said, I think people in America need to learn how to disagree more charitably anyway. So if you find you're either a raging Republican or a raging Democrat, and you'll have to figure out how to deal with it politely, hopefully. I'm hoping I'm not going to be a jerk to anybody. But yeah, and in case you're wondering, yes, all my liberal friends think I am a Republican, and all my conservative friends think I am a Democrat. Which I think tells me that I'm in a good position in the middle, right? And let's go down to 70. Probably even less because of this truck in front of me. Slow it down, everything. Euro goodies. You are not driving fast, that's for sure. Oh well, apparently there is another toll booth anyway. It does look like the little pay icon is matching up with that sign. So the sign that looks like it's handing cash over apparently is the one that I go through to stop at. I haven't researched whether that other toll booth is actually a bug or not. Like, it's happening to more people than just me, but that was definitely annoying. I guess it did give me a free ride though, because it cost me €0. And this I don't understand though, is why they put us here in the far left lane when, as slower moving traffic, we would need to move over to the right. I'm gonna hope that the 3 lanes stay for a while, so I'll move over. Anyway, unless there's different laws in Italy, maybe in Italy slow moving traffic stays on the inside. And I imagine if that was the case, you'd never get out of that middle lane, because all the fast moving traffic would block you from your exits. That would be my guess, but at least that's why I'm assuming that in America, slower traffic stays on the right. Actually, I guess that's not quite true. Slower traffic stays right in front of you when you're in a hurry. That's what happens in America. But you know what I mean. Lombardia, probably Lombardia. Yeah, it's in yeah. I'm definitely not going to be pronouncing these names correctly. I am definitely enjoying this game so far, though. It's been nice actually seeing Italy in the sunlight now. Although, of course, the sun is about to set, so I'm about to go back into the darkness. But it's got its own definite color palette here. And the trees do definitely look different. I'm supposing they're Mediterranean. I'm doing 80, so that Euro Goodies truck is definitely speeding. Which is nice. Usually they are going about 10 kilometers per hour slower than traffic. Or than the speed limit, I should say. So no complaints from me. Yeah, I guess I should also mention I am not using any mods in this. So once I get in for a while, I might use, especially when it's time to uncover the 100% for the map, I might use one of the different maps out there that colors everything differently, so that you can more easily spot what you've already been to and where you haven't. I used that for a little bit of time in the previous version of this game that I was working on. Didn't record it, but that was before the hard drive replacement, and so I haven't reinstalled that mod. And I guess I'll keep it vanilla for a while anyway, because vanilla is good. Not really my favorite flavor of ice cream though. Oh, that's getting drinks. By which I just mean to stay hydrated in this context, but I probably do love it in other contexts as well. Actually, I was just talking to one of my friends earlier today about how I really don't drink that much at all. We had a business trip that I went with on my job back in early November. And at one of the dinners there, I had a beer, and then actually went out and hung out with a guy that I had met online and never met in person. And he drove down from where he worked after work. Well, we were out at one of the restaurants, and I got to hang out with him. And that was a pretty fun experience. But we went out and had a few drinks as well. But before that, it was probably a year ago, before that in August, so would that be 15 months earlier is the last time that I'd had any alcohol. So consequently, I don't know if I'm a lightweight or not. I do know that as far as I can tell, I've never been drunk, which probably means that legally I have been. The closest I ever got was a Christmas, no, it was New Year's Eve. That's what it was. New Year's Eve with my brother-in-law and my sister. We were over at my brother-in-law's house, and that was the only time I ever had tequila, which I have to say I hated. We did the whole tequila and lime thing, and never again on that. Other than that, the only good thing out of that one was I tried one of those little sample bottles of Jack Daniel's Watermelon Spike Punch or something like that, and that was like drinking a Jolly Rancher. That was really good. Those were the dangerous kind of drinks because they don't taste like they have any alcohol, and so that's where you drink like 4 or 5 of them and suddenly you're incapacitated, at least not able to legally drive, and you never notice it because you don't taste the alcohol. Anyway, aside from that, like I said, I got my eggnog today, so I will try some after this recording. Wish you all a Merry Christmas. My Christmases are a bit darker now since I don't get to spend them with my daughter or anything like that. So it's hard to actually get up for Christmas when the person who you would buy presents for is 1,000 miles away, and you don't get to see her that frequently. This, just to interrupt myself, this is a very interesting interchange that we've got going on here. Thought we were heading to a toll booth, but it looks like those are actually on the side. So that's rather interesting. So, keeping me on my toes. This is one where 100%ing this is going to be exciting too, because I'll have to figure out how to exit correctly and get over there. Looks like it kind of loops around. I'm guessing there's a roundabout underneath this bridge, so it probably drops down, and it looks like you can drive on the lane to the right though. So yeah, interesting. This little interchange is going to be fun to learn. Alright, well, anyway, getting back on the topic, despite the fact that my Christmases are not really all that fun, they're more depressing than anything, since it's me getting to be alone. My dad and stepmom are in Ukraine, and my real mom she passed away in December, actually New Year's Eve. She fell in Ukraine and actually passed away on New Year's Day. That also kind of ruins the moment for me. That was back in 2013, and my dad just a couple years ago remarried, and he's back in Ukraine. And so that's a bit of a commute for me. I do have a brother in the same state here, and then grandparents on my dad's side live fairly close here, but the rest of my family's up in Alaska. So, other than my daughter, who she's with my ex over in California now. So I get to send presents over, and it's better than nothing, but yeah, it's definitely not what I wanted. And I think I mentioned it before. When you get 2 people and one of them wants to go, the other person can't really do much about it. Ends up just being a painful experience. That said, I don't have any real animosity in my heart towards my ex. Part of it is, it's been over a year, and it's hard to let anything hurt you for that long, because eventually you'll grow numb at minimum. And I don't know if I've dealt with everything, especially since it really hurts not being able to see my daughter. But when you take it a day at a time, I'm hopeful that once Trinity is old enough that she can be away overnight on trips and things like that, then I'll get to actually spend some time with her. She'll get to know who her papa is, and I'll get to know who she is. So I'll be holding on to that thought over Christmas, but it's still basically just a cold, empty house now. Here, don't get to hear her little footfalls as she runs up and down the hall anymore, or don't even get to hear the cat protesting when she tugs on his tail a little too hard. Now all I do hear is the cats meowing endlessly. I'm surprised they actually haven't come in yet, because normally while I'm recording they decide that since I'm talking they must be able to join in. They usually come in and start meowing at me too. But, anyway, such is life. Just gotta go day by day. I'm kind of wondering here how I got stuck in this middle lane. Just indicate that I'm going to go over. I think that they'll probably ignore me. Yeah. Just like real life. Alright, there we go. And then, of course, knowing my luck, that means that around this corner, this lane will merge into the center lane again. Speaking of luck, my last name is Pike, and I've been asked in the past if I'm related to the famous Zebulon. And my dad actually did some research on it, and as far as we can tell, he can't prove it. But as I've examined things, I've come to the conclusion that we definitely are related. For one thing, when Zebulon got here to Colorado Springs, saw the mountain that would eventually be named Pikes Peak, he decided to climb it. But it was November, and there's 6 feet of snow on the ground, and his guys were on a long trip, and probably at that point even already probably running from the Mexican army, because Pike would eventually get arrested by the Mexican army, spent some time in jail in Mexico City before being sent back to the U.S., where he actually got blown up on the middle of Lake Champlain, went down with the ship there. Anyway, after he got to, after he made his attempt on climbing Pikes Peak, he declared it would be impossible for anybody to climb the mountain. And as a result, it's so difficult of a climb that there is literally a road that goes to the top of the peak, which you might realize is not a difficult climb if you can drive it. Let's see if I can get around this traffic. Let's see if they'll let me. Anyway, it turns out though that story that I was just telling you, that's what most people know as the story of Zebulon and Pikes Peak. But it turns out that I've read articles since then that says that Zebulon did not actually say that it was impossible for anybody to climb Pikes Peak. But instead what he had said was that basically given the condition of his men and the fact that there was 6 feet of snow on the ground and the fact that they were in the middle of nowhere and had a hard journey and all that stuff, that it was impossible for anybody under those circumstances to climb Pikes Peak. So this also proves to me that Zebulon is related to me, given that apparently he was misquoted and people took it as the absolute worst possible way of meaning, just like what happens with everybody in my family. So it's par for the course. And speaking of, looks like I do need to get over. I know there's a car in the blind spot on the right. I'm going a little too fast, but not fast enough to get around this truck, I don't think. Looks like I actually got quite a bit of distance before it loops back around, but still. I have a feeling I'm going to be slamming on my brakes pretty soon. I'm going to try, I'll just speed a little bit, try and get behind this truck here. Okay, there we go. I guess legal again. Alright. So anyway, there you go. I think that's proof enough that old Zebulon is related to me. If not, yeah, ultimately doesn't matter. There's certainly no glory or any benefit in being related to him. Also, this time it's 70. I was expecting it to be 40 again. Actually, I'm guessing it's going to slow way down around this corner here too. Cannot read that. 40. See, that's another realistic thing. Let's put the speed limit sign in the bush so you can't read it, and that way the police can give you tickets. It's a great tactic. Anyway, just speed up a little bit just to stop it with hold you. How much am I making on this? 10,000? Paid off. Alright, well here is Ancona. Gonna have to slow down around this here, so. Looks like that truck was doing the turn signal for this, I guess. I'm trying to learn how to drive by using what the other cars do. I do gotta say though, I'm glad that I'm only going to be going through this trip this time, because I am definitely feeling the tiredness setting in from this day of work. So once I drop this load off and get my little bit of eggnog, and then maybe read for a bit before I go to bed. Of course, now suddenly about the cars. You need to turn so on there, cut in front of them. I didn't check, but it doesn't look like there's any question marks to unlock out here. Excuse me. Yeah, it's pretty dry air out here lately. It's getting cold, but not much in the way of precipitation yet. I'm hoping that we're supposed to get a little bit of snow tonight, and I don't know why they keep making this 40. Doesn't matter, I'm going to have to slow down here anyway. So. Anyway, what I was going to say is there's supposed to be a light dusting of snow tonight, with the possibility of more tomorrow. So the way that our weather guys do this, that means that probably we won't have anything. When they say it's supposed to be a high of 60, that's when we get our snow. So I'm guessing on this map, there's kind of that block in place there, so I have to turn this around carefully. Hopefully I can go relatively straight back. And then just start cranking the wheel at the very, very end. Let's start back the line. And it works. All right. It should be level 4 too. Alright. Perfect. So we can go even farther. What do we get up to now? We get 1,100 kilometers. Okay. And just to see what we've got in our trade market, Ancona. I always want to say Anaconda. I'm not going back up there. Where's this car up? That goes down a little bit. Parma, that's way up. Roma. Gotta learn where all these are. Venezia, that goes back up. Okay, this is going to be the one that we will most likely take. And then from here, I'm sure we can get over to Sicily pretty quickly. So, yeah, it looks like that's going to be the one. I got 11 hours on it before it expires. So anyway, let me just go ahead and save this. Cycle through this, so we'll do save one. All right, you guys have yourselves a wonderful day.